Apple and sycamore and all the rest, pine and vine, but I think the best is a small, quiet tree with shade all around where you can sit on the ground with no other sound.
So I love trees and they complete my life. They have given me a roof over my head, food on my plate, and have given life to my family who I love.
A tree is nature, a wise, quiet home for birds to sing. A tree is colorful and welcoming to others. It calls your name if you are sad or calm and need a perfect place to rest.
It's just, in a lot of ways, enchantment, especially with my children, watching them climb down and throwing the figs and being able to pick their own fruit. I love that. It's just natural play. It's not a video game.
An urban forest is the collection of all the trees and plants and landscaping that's in a community.
In Santa Barbara, that includes trees the city owns along our streets and in our parks and facilities, and those trees on private property, whether in the parking lot or in front of somebody's home or in the back of their home.
We estimate that there's about 320,000 trees in Santa Barbara. That includes both public and privately owned trees. The city has conducted a canopy cover study and estimated its tree population from that study. The study found Santa Barbara to have roughly 25% canopy cover.
Just about anywhere you are, on top of a hill looking down on Santa Barbara or at street level, looking around, you will most often mainly see trees. Trees are a vital part of what makes Santa Barbara special.
We're really fortunate here in Santa Barbara. We're living in an arboretum, we're living in a conservatory of the diversity of the world. We can walk out our door and find trees from China, trees from South America, from Africa, from Europe, all over the world, and this really brings the world to our doorstep.
The city of Santa Barbara manages over 450 different varieties of trees. The Santa Barbara Botanic Garden did a study where they asked cities throughout California how many different trees they had that they managed. And the city of Santa Barbara had the most diverse of any community in California. The next closest was Santa Monica with 350 different varieties of trees.
But as you look at pictures of the city, once photographs came into existence, there aren't any trees. Fortunately, there have been many people who have planted lots of trees.
Boyd Doremus and Orpet and Franceschi, all of these people who had an enthusiasm and love for plants and trees, and they brought them in from all of their contacts, all of their associations all over the world.
This is a community resource, a natural resource. The benefits it provides those benefits to everyone in the community. And those benefits extend from an economic standpoint to an environmental and a social standpoint.
Our urban forest, aesthetically and quality of life, number one. It's what improves our everyday living, things we take for granted. Our shade is something that helps us with pollution. It helps us with noise pollution, light pollution. They're doing a job 24/7 that makes our life livable.
It's not just individual trees or plants. Every tree or plant, every part of the urban forest is part of a miniature ecosystem that supports birds and insects and plants and animals. And having a lot of green canopy cover reduces what they call the urban heating effect, and it provides a cooling effect on streets and sidewalks and neighborhoods.
There are other things that they do that aren't so easily quantifiable, such as provide the beauty that they surround us with. They've done many studies that indicate where people have trees to look at. Say, for example, if they're in the hospital and they have a tree to look at out their window, they recover more quickly.
There's been many studies to show that crime rates are reduced when there's significant trees, so they have a calming effect.
An urban forest isn't something that you just put the trees in the ground and walk away.
Having an urban forest does take special care to make it all happen and to make it so we can have humans and trees exist in the same space. It's definitely two different things than being in a natural environment where tree limb shedding might be natural, but you can't have that over a playground.
Because the urban forest is not a natural environment, it requires more maintenance and care and management. And for that reason, the city developed an urban forest management plan. It has objectives and actions to guide management decisions on planting and the replacement of trees, on land development, on community outreach and education programs regarding trees.
The Urban Forest Management Plan is a long-term guide for the city and the community to manage trees. The goals of the Urban Forest Management Plan are to enhance and maintain our tree diversity, to encourage the community to engage in our trees and tree care, to increase the importance of trees within our community and ensure they continue to play an important role.
The city of Santa Barbara has a regular maintenance for city-owned trees. We plant trees in vacant spots when, as budget allows. So we're planning for taking care of the existing trees and planting new ones for the future. And we're doing that in ways that lengthen the life expectancy of the trees that we're required to maintain.
City staff takes care of approximately 5,000 trees per year. The other balance of trees is done by contractors. We have 6 full-time staff, aside from myself, that are in the field, pruning street trees, park trees, and trees around city facilities.
We do need to pay attention to our plantings, whether it's on private lands or on public properties. We need to replace the trees that are being lost, and we always have a turnover of trees.
I think it's important that the community knows how they can help to support the urban forest here in Santa Barbara and what we can do as ordinary people to promote the urban forest and to make sure that the trees that are here are healthy and how we can replace trees that need to be replaced.
I think we have a wonderful opportunity to participate in the trees more. I think whether or not it be at the park level with Parks and Recreation or at the neighborhood level, I mean, what a great experience. You can plant a tree and go back to it for 50 years and you know, cross your arms and say, hey, I planted, that's this tree.
And one thing that private landowners and particularly residential homeowners can do is care for their trees. So prune them on a regular basis. Consider where they're planted so they're most effective, whether you're intending to shade your house or beautify a garden. Because trees, when they're well maintained, will last a longer time, will maintain their aesthetic value, and they'll also enhance property values and enhance the neighborhood.
What I'm hoping that people who are thinking about the urban forest realize is when it comes around time for budget hearings for the city or for the county or for the state, let them know that the urban forest concept, that connecting people with nature is really important to you, and it's worth investing a small amount of limited public funds to make that happen and to keep Santa Barbara green and healthy for the long term.
We are so blessed in this community to have the urban forest that we do. I mean, as an arborist, I wouldn't want to work anywhere else in the world. I love it here.
I can't believe that I get to work in a city that has this variety of trees, that has citizenry who love trees as much as I do, and has a legacy and investment in an urban forest.